I'm going to play you a clip of a video that I sent to the Lehigh Valley labor leaders back in 2020 when the COVID hoax was just getting started.
This is a call to action to American workers, especially labor leaders. Our country is being torn away from us. Our way of life is under attack. This is not a drill, and the tyranny is growing as we do nothing.
I sent this video to all the labor leaders that I personally know and the business agents and trustees of the Teamsters Union got it, and I never heard anything back from it. I even called and spoke personally to the president of the Labor Council, which at the time was Greg Potter, and the president of the Teamsters, which is Dennis Howard. He's currently the Teamster president at Local 773. These guys were offended that I sent that to them. They didn't even want to talk about it. In fact, they canceled me, and I was barred from the Labor Council meetings after sending that video to Greg and asking him to play it for the Labor Council. It might have been that video. It might have been another video, but a similar video. Now the government's doing it again. They're taking our money. They're robbing us. And these guys are letting them rob their members. Keep this in mind. Because all they got to do is a little bit of research, and they're going to see it as clearly as I see it, and most other people see it, that Ukraine is a corrupt country. We've sent them over $100 billion. Israel is a genocidal maniac country. They're killing tens of thousands of innocent people so far, and a couple hundred a day. We're sending them money. And the labor leaders are still kissing the politicians' ass. They're supporting people who are robbing their members. Not only supporting them, but they're selling the scam to the members. We can't let this happen. The unions have been co-opted, and until these guys either wake up or get off the dole, we're going to keep going downhill, because these are important resources for working people that we would be able to fight back, that we would be able to hold politicians accountable, because these people, the two that I mentioned especially in the Lehigh Valley, could have a big platform, and they could educate their members and get an even bigger platform. So let's start doing the right thing. Let's start paying attention. If you're really sincere and you don't know what's happening, then study it, look it up, research it. But don't let these people rape the members. And members, have some self-respect. These guys are no better than you. Don't let them sell your future to feed their egos. Now, besides the 26 billion that we just gave to Israel, on top of the 3.8 billion that we give Israel every year, on top of the billions that it's costing in weapons and ammo for Israel, there's a couple other things that our politicians are spending our money on. And you make your own decision here. You just see if you think that's a good use of our money when we have members who are on the brink of bankruptcy. There was a $320 million U.S. pier collapse in Gaza. Now, why would the U.S. be building a pier in Gaza? You probably don't know, because they don't really talk too much about it on the news, the real reason for it. The real reason for it is Israel, who's committing genocide in Gaza, and illegal settlers are blocking all the land routes into Gaza to prevent food and medical supplies from getting into the people of Gaza, to where they're starving to death, they're operating without anesthesia, they have no antibiotics, they're committing genocide. Now, you make up your own mind. If you think you're okay with that, uh, then these guys are doing a good job for you. There you go. Check this guy out. There's a representative in Congress by the name of Representative Mast. He wants us to pay if any American dual citizen Israeli reservists want to go and fight uh, in the genocide war in Palestine. He wants us to pay just as if we would pay an American reservist who's called up to a war. That would mean helping them with their mortgage, making sure that their employer holds their job, uh, all the benefits that an American troop would get, this Israeli troop would get. Now, this United States congressman wears an IDF, Israeli Defense Force uniform, to the Capitol. If we don't have a clear sign that Israel is taking over our government, we're pretty numb. At least ask these people, what the hell is going on here? What's going on here where we're funding a genocide and nobody's calling anybody out on it? You know why? Because the labor leaders have been co-opted by corrupt politicians, and we got to call them out on it. I posted a video a couple days ago about how Israel was buying our politicians, and I'm going to put a clip to that because it's relevant to what we're talking about here. The bottom line is our politicians are funneling our money to Israel, who in turn pays them handsomely in campaign contributions. Now, not only is that happening, and no one's talking about it in a position of authority, but now they have a new bill out where they want to censor free speech. A foreign government wants to tell us what we can do, and our representatives, union, political, every one of them, are sitting by watching it happen. Either they're ignorant of it or they're afraid to say anything about it for fear that their masters will chastise them. But in the meantime, it's the working people and the constituents that are paying the price for their cowardice. Now let's take a look at what they're up to with this new bill. Okay, this new bill, they want to limit college protests, and they want to reinforce the anti-Semitism laws. Now, anti-Semitism, according to Susan Wild, is an existential threat, which the anti-Semitism that they're speaking about is merely criticism of Israel. Okay, this is her take on it. Let's see, then we got Casey Scott introduced a bill to take on anti-Semitism on college campuses. More uh, restrictions on free speech. And then, of course, we got to get Mr. Fetterman in there. During a CNN interview Monday, Senator Fetterman denied that Israel had committed any war crimes with its strikes against Hamas in Gaza. Now, this guy's lying. This guy's lying straight up. He knows he's lying too. But he thinks that you're too stupid to know that he's lying. This is where the rub comes in. These people aren't working for us. So to sum it up, we have bought and paid for politicians funneling billions of our dollars to foreign corrupt genocidal countries that could be used for the people in this country who are struggling with everyday living, with healthcare problems, with job security. That money could be used for projects here that would create good paying American jobs. It's being funneled to criminals, and no one's calling them out on it. Like Fetterman saying Israel hasn't committed war crimes. That's bullshit. Israel has killed 35,000 people at least, not counting the ones that are buried in the rubble, 15,000 children. We need to call these people out. But here's the other part. Now they're trying to censor our free speech so we can't talk about the crimes they're committing. And the labor leaders and our local and state representatives are saying nothing about it. They're just letting it happen as if it were acceptable to steal American money and then censor them so they can't talk about it. Now, this is something that should be brought up at union meetings. And I know the Teamsters got people with the Teamsters that has the balls to bring it up. And these labor leaders need to be held accountable. And I'd be willing to talk to any one of them to explain what I just said and show them that either they're complicit or ignorant. So come on, labor leaders. Let's start paying attention to what's happening to your members. You identify with us, not the politicians.